So the key idea in measuring volume is the volume is measured in cubes. We have to find the number of cubes. To do that, we're going to take squares and we're going to go 90 degrees, 90 degrees, give it thickness or height, and that will give us a cube, which makes volume. So in essence, when we are calculating volume, we want to count the number of cubes that we can see. So if we can see all the cubes, that's great. We can count, and that is going to be the number of cubes, and that's going to be the volume. But if we can't count all the cubes, because sometimes you can't have the physical object and break it all apart, we can rely on some formulas. And for a rectangular prism, we could just use length times width times height, or we can use the area of the base. So area of the base, in this case, this diagram here, the area of the base is going to be, we have 3 wide. Okay, so we have 3 this way, and we have 4 this way, and that's going to give us the area, and we can see the area here. It's going to give us 12 squares of area in red. And once we have the area to find the volume, so we have the squares, 12 squares, to find volume or cubes, we give it thickness. In this case, we multiply it by a height of, this should really say 2. Okay, we're going to multiply that by height of 2, and then we can get the volume of 24 cubes in that rectangular prism. So again, we're going to use this idea that if we can't count all the cubes, we're going to take the area of the base. So in this case, the area of the base is going to be this L-shaped thing. We're going to call that our base. And the area of the base, in this case, so let's start with volume equals area of the base. The area of the base, if I count up the squares, and again, counting is the most reliable way to do it if we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 12 squares. Okay, so that's my area of the base. And then we're going to give those squares some thickness to make them cubes. And so we have the thickness of 2. So we're going to multiply that by a length of 2. And that's going to give us a volume of 24. The shape is no longer squares, but they're going to be 24 cubes. And there's 24 cubes in that object. Now that's great when we can count the squares and cubes, but sometimes we can't, so we have to rely on formula. So in this case here, we have to first of all identify the face that's going to be our area. And every slice has to have that same area. So slices like that will all give us the same triangular area. So to find the volume, the volume is equal to the area. The area of the triangle is going to be 10 times 10. Okay, again, those lengths have to be at 90 degrees to give us squares. We're going to divide it by 2 because we don't want the rectangle. Then that's going to give us the area of the triangular face. And then we want to give it 15 centimeters of thickness. So that's going to give us 15 centimeters of thickness, and that's going to give us the volume. So that 14 centimeters doesn't really account in our volume. If we needed surface area, we would use that 14 centimeters, but we don't need surface area, we need volume. So calculating this then, the volume is equal to 10 times 10 divided by 2 is 50 squares, so centimeters squares, times 15 thickness, 15 centimeters of thickness. That gives us a total volume of 15 times 5. That's going to give us 750, and the measurement is cubes. Okay, centimeters squared times centimeters gives us cubes.